and welcome back to Interpreting the Scares! That's right, we're back at it on our month-long journey throughout the nightmares with yet another film to check off that bucket list of terrors with a movie that, of course, I've heard about before. I've seen the poster floating around. People have recommended it to me on and off throughout my life, but I've never seen it because just like Martyrs, it's a foreign horror film, and too many of those I've avoided throughout my life. We're talking about I Saw the Devil. I Saw the Devil is ultimately a South Korean horror film that centers around a man stricken with grief after a deranged man killed and dismembered his wife's body, and he vows to avenge her death by hunting this man down over and over and over again. It's decided, everybody, it's decided. Next year's Interpreting the Scares event of 2023 is definitely going to be themed on foreign horror films. That's right, 31 foreign horror films, because apparently they really do know what they're doing. And I'm becoming more and more blown away by just the sheer number of foreign horror joints that I've never seen nor cared to, so come this time next year, I want to focus on that. I, of course, have a few films that do come to mind. Obviously, you got Ju-on The Grudge, so the original franchise. Then there's Record, I'm not entirely sure how you say that one. But I did see Quarantine, the Americanized version of it, but I've never saw the original. There's also Ringu, so the original Ring series. And I also want to try the one Japanese version of Paranormal Activity as well, since that's the only Paranormal Activity movie that I've never seen. But if you guys have some other good movies to add to this list, please add them to the comments down below, because I'll be making a list of nominees to mull over and just plan for next year's event. But yeah, today we're talking about the South Korean horror joint I Saw the Devil, which, holy crap, was this a fantastic movie all around. Just like Martyrs, this is a movie that proves to me that Western horror, otherwise known as American horror, really only cares about cheap thrills and temporary shock, while Eastern horror, otherwise known as everybody else, truly cares about making a cinematic experience. So, filled with rich character development, cinematography, editing, acting, and crafting a truly unique experience, even though the subject matter is clearly just usually something that is overdone. In the case of I Saw the Devil, you're talking about a revenge plot. Revenge! And yet it still feels insanely different. The first thing that I thought about while I was watching the movie was that the pacing felt different, because the actual detective work to find this madman happens really fast. Talking really, really fast. And if we made the movie, finding the guy would be closer to the climax or towards the end of the film, not the inciting incident, which is what happens here. And from there on out, I don't want to tell you what happens, because that's the part of the movie that feels very unique, very different. And it's the part of the movie that I love the most. So honestly, in order to know what I'm talking about, go see it for yourself. Because the movie is 100% solid and easily one of the best movies that I've seen all month. I have to ask myself, okay, it's a good movie, but is it scary? To the right people, sure. I think it's more the idea that people like this can and do exist in the real world, and you never know who is a psychopath and who's not. And there's all these stats out there that you might have met X amount of killers already, you just don't know it. It's a scary thought. I would also say that traditionally, this isn't scary in the way that you would typically expect horror films to be scary either. It operates a lot closer to an action thriller than anything else, such as Taken, for instance, except maybe a little bit darker, since it definitely can be a fair bit twisted too. So in terms of scariest film I've seen all month, that might be awarded to something else. But I do think it might be the best overall film so far, so that's something. Looking at my final score for a second, you'll definitely see that I think that this film is definitely solid at a A-letter grade. Final overall score of 93%, 93 out of 100 possible stars. This is mostly reflected in my technical score of 92%, my bias score of 94. So yeah, overall, it's a very well-balanced horror film that knows how to make a movie. We really need to do the same thing in the States though, regardless of genre. I don't care if it's horror, I don't care if it's comedy, if it's a kid's film, whatever. More focus on all these different technical aspects will make the movie better, stronger, more memorable overall, and create a cult following, but I get it. It's just cheaper not to worry about any of that, so we just don't. Ah well. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts on I Saw the Devil. If you've seen it, are you a fan of it? Should the US make an American remake of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come up with my next review. And until then, peace out.